I swear to God, this manga server I'm in has more drama than freaking reality TV because something not only happened yesterday, but it also happened today. I'll tell you about the shit that happened today. Oh boy. Well, I come into the server and this guy comes in spouting this rhetoric or whatever. He said, "Oh, it's too competitive. All you artists are only driven by success. No one's on here to take any art." And people were dogging him, being like, "Oh, he can't take criticism." I don't even know what the original piece of art was. Someone probably said, "Oh, you have to work on your line art or something, or your proportions are off." But like this guy Phantom, 7889, just like completely flipped his shit, bro. He was like, "Well, if you were Christian, there's this thing called unconditional love, and it's where we love each other instead of being so competitive and only driven by success and having nothing else in your life." Blah blah blah. And then at one point, this other dude comes in and he's like, "Hey." They start arguing about religion or something, and they're like, "Well, that's not what God's about." And then at one point, this third party who has nothing to do with it keeps spamming the bad word that starts with N, and not the acceptable version. And then I tag the mod and I say, "Hey, this guy's saying some stuff," and the mod doesn't do anything. He says, "Okay, calm it down, guys. You can just move that conversation over to rant from general." And I said, "You're just gonna make the convo move to rant instead of general?" That guy said it says no racism in the server rules, and you're just gonna let that slide? He said, "Oh, he's just doing it for attention." What? And by the way, we go back to the whole time I'm talking to the mod right now. In between, they're throwing paragraphs on paragraphs of insults, and turns out that guy was black. He said, "Oh, blah blah blah," and then this other guy starts talking about jail, and then they get into a big conversation, and they're arguing about a thing. And I said, move it to rant so I can mute the freaking channel and not get 50 million notifications because I'm trying to work on my one shot. It's going great, by the way. I want to post a video about it. I'm 1/5, no, I'm 1/4 of it done because there's 20 pages and I got 5 pages done. So I'm really excited. I'm a fourth done. I'm gonna do 2 more pages tomorrow. But it's just so stupid. There's so much drama. I said, don't argue what they bring up, life over, or it's pro life or pro whatever it is. And I said, don't bring up Roe v. Wade. Don't bring up politics because they're saying about the alt right and alt left and what's wrong, what's right, and they're talking about the prisons. And I don't really care. Don't bring up politics and don't bring up religion because God, please help us if there's Muslims or Hindus in the chat. Respect everyone's beliefs. Like, I'm Christian, or Catholic or whatever. I don't really care about denomination because at the end of the day, we all care about Christ. But you can't just go around forcing people to what you believe in, and just because you're a different race of color, you can't use that as an excuse. You can't say, "Well, I'm black, so you should listen to me and you have to follow my ideas." Okay, so now you're oppressing someone else just because you're a minority. That doesn't make sense. His argument. He just wanted to have a civil conversation, and then the guy ends up leaving the server. So I messaged him personally. I said, "Hey, please come back. We can have a civil conversation. There doesn't need to be any bad blood or anything. You're a really great artist. You shouldn't let other people's opinions, get you down or whatever." Even though he was in the wrong and stuff, I'm like, well, I don't want this guy to feel bad and not come back, but that's ultimately his choice. And he hasn't come back to the server or responded to me, even though I had nothing to do with the argument. Um, but yeah, hopefully, that guy just turns out good in life.